Hey guys, welcome back to another mod review, and today we're going to be looking at the Roost Ultimate mod for Minecraft 1.20.1 NeoForge. And this mod adds a bunch of chickens that can produce resources for you, and as you can see from here, there are loads of these chickens. They can produce glass, they can produce wood, etc. And I definitely recommend you guys use the JEI mod while using this mod, as it's going to help you with the breeding and also seeing what can produce what. So to get started, you're going to need to find yourself some of the naturally generating chickens that generate throughout the world. And these are a couple of them here, as you can see. And it'll say spawns in, and then it'll say where they spawn. So this oak chicken spawns in the forest or the flower forest. And you'll be able to tell which ones don't spawn naturally in the world, as it will say spawns in, no spawn found. So this one you'll have to breed to get, which we'll get into a bit later. And you're going to need to be able to collect these chickens up to get the item form, like this guy is here in my hand. And the way we do that is with this wrench here called the chicken stick. And this is just made with a feather, stick, and egg. So I've got my chicken stick here, and you can head out into the world and find yourself some chickens. And we can do this with normal vanilla chickens. You just shift and right click and you can collect them. Or if you search around a bit, you can find some of the roost chickens. And here we've got a dark oak chicken, which obviously spawns in the dark oak forest. And once you've got these chickens, you do have the option to do this a traditional way of placing them down in the world, and they will just drop out their resources. As you can see, we've got some wood essence from these dark oak chickens here. Or we can make use of the roost block, and this is made with 3 composters and then 5 of any type of plank. And with this roost, we can just put the chicken in, but it's not quite as simple as this, as we do need something else to get the chicken to produce the resources from within the roost. And what we need is actually these chicken seeds, and there are different tiers of chicken seeds. They go all the way up to tier 9, as you can see here. So this dark oak chicken is a tier 1 chicken, so we only need the tier 1 seed. And if we put this guy in here, you'll see it will start actually now producing the resources. So next, let's get on to actually getting these chicken seeds. And to get started doing that, you're going to need some of these chicken souls. And there are different tiers of chicken souls, and we'll get into how to get each of these. But again, these go all the way up to tier 9. So to get these, we need to make the soul extractor. And this is made with a furnace, 2 glass bottles, the chicken stick, 2 bones, and then 2 crafting tables. And with this soul extractor, we just put the chicken we want to extract the soul from. So if we put this dark oak chicken in, it'll start extracting, and we will get ourselves a tier 1 chicken soul. And you'll see if I use this sugar chicken, it is a tier 2 chicken. So we are going to get ourselves a tier 2 chicken soul. And basically the tier of the chicken will correspond to the tier of soul you get out of the soul extractor. So now that you got yourselves some chicken souls, we can actually make ourselves some chicken seeds. And to make the tier 1 chicken seed, we just combine 8 seeds with a chicken soul, or 7 or 6. You can do this pretty much however many seeds you want to a soul. And then to get to the tier 2 souls, you're going to need to get yourself some of the chicken seeds tier 1s, and we combine that with the tier 2 soul, and this will give us 4 of the chicken seeds tier 2. Or if you use 7 of them, it will give you 3. If you use 4, it'll give you 2, etc. And the tier 3 seeds are the same. We need 6 of these chicken seed tier 2s and a soul of tier 3 to make 2 of the tier 3 chicken seeds. For the tier 4 seeds, we're going to need 6 of these tier 3 seeds as well as a chicken soul tier 4. For the tier 5 seeds, we're going to need 7 of the tier 4 seeds and then 2 of the tier 5 souls. For the tier 6 seeds, we're going to need 6 of the tier 5 seeds and 3 of the tier 6 souls. For the tier 7 seeds, you're going to need 5 of the tier 6 seeds and 4 of the tier 7 souls. For the tier 8 seeds, you're going to need 4 of the tier 7 seeds, a block of diamond, and then 4 of the tier 8 souls. And then finally, for the tier 9 seeds, you're going to need 4 of the tier 9 souls, 4 nether stars, and 1 of the tier 8 seeds. There are also some chickens that are going to require you to do some crafting, and that is to get these different colored eggs, and these will give you each different color of the chickens, and these chickens can give you each of the different colors of dyes. And these eggs are real simple to craft. It's just an egg with the color of dye, so lapis lazuli for the blue egg. For the red egg, you need some red dye. For the yellow egg, you need some yellow dye, and it'll be exactly the same for each different color. And then to get the actual chickens, you just need to kind of throw the eggs, much like vanilla eggs, and you have a slight chance of getting the colored chicken. Most chickens will just produce the raw resource that they're named after. So we got the glowstone chicken, which produces glowstone dust, as well as the redstone chicken producing redstone dust. But there are also some chickens that produce different things. So we got like this lava chicken here, which produces the lava egg, the water chicken here that produces the water egg. There's also the wood chickens that produce the wood essence, and also the stone chickens that produce the stone essence. And these can just be crafted into their resource. So with the eggs, you can just use it with a bucket to get the water or the lava, and with the essences like the stone essence, you can just craft them in different shapes and they will give you different resources. And this is exactly the same with the wood essence, so it doesn't really matter what type of wood chicken you have, whether it's an acacia or a birch one, they're all just going to give you the wood essence, and this will then be crafted into the different types of logs. So now let's move on to some chicken breeding, and this is how you're going to get a lot of these chickens, like I mentioned earlier, that do not spawn naturally in the world or are not created from an egg like the dye chickens. And to get started with this, you're going to need this breeder, and this is made with a chicken stick, a regular vanilla chicken that you've picked up with the chicken stick, and also a roost. So this breeder has two different uses. Firstly, it allows you to breed together two of the same chicken, and you can use any tier seed, and it doesn't really seem to matter the tier of the chicken. You can just use whatever tier, so probably just use the tier 1 seeds. And we should see when this arrow completely fills up, we get ourselves another oak chicken. And secondly, it's used to breed together two different species of chicken, so the bone and the flint chicken, for example, and this will give us a brand new different type of chicken, in this case the iron chicken. So if we pop these guys into the breeder here and let them breed, we should see now that we get ourselves an iron chicken. And there are loads of different combinations you can put together to make different chickens, and I'm not going to be going through them all today, so I definitely recommend you guys check out JEI or Just Enough Items with this, as it will tell you what you can breed together to make what chicken. Now moving on, we have the chicken trainer, and this is crafted with 2 golden carrots, an anvil, 3 breeders, 2 blaze rods, and a clock. So you'll have noticed under each different chicken there is a level and XP, and this chicken trainer is how you give them XP to increase their level. And for each level, the chicken's productivity will be increased. So if we take a look at, for example, the vanilla chicken, you'll see it requires 50 XP to get to the next level, and that's because this is a tier 1 chicken. If we look at the water chicken, it takes 250 XP to get to the first level, and that's because this is a tier 2 chicken. And this will go up with each tier, so you can see for the Signalum one, it's a tier 4, so it takes 6250 XP. And the way we give chickens XP is with the chicken seeds of the different tiers, and you can see the XP that they give down below. So this tier 1 seed gives 50, the tier 2 gives 200, and the tier 9 gives 5,000. So if we wanted to level up this vanilla tier 1 chicken here, we can put him in the right hand side of this chicken trainer, and then we can provide him with a seed. Now you're probably thinking, why don't I just give him the 5,000 XP? And you could do this, but you'll see that the chicken will only go up 1 level, and the rest of that 5,000 XP will actually be wasted. So what I'd recommend is you just use the amount of XP needed to get it to the next level. So we just put the tier 1 seed in, and this will boost him up again by 50. And you'll see there's a total of 128 levels per chicken. So if we compare this now tier 1 chicken, which is level 0, to the level 2 chicken, you'll see that this guy is producing a lot more eggs, and these guys have been in for the exact same amount of time. And you'll also notice as these guys produce eggs, they actually gain XP 5 every time they produce, and this is another way of leveling up all of the chickens. And now if we take a look at a fully leveled up chicken, you'll see it's capable of producing a whole stack every time it produces. The next item we have is the Roost Collector, and this is made with 7 of any type of log, a gold block, and an ender pearl. So this block is used to easily collect up all of the items from the roosts you have within an area, and if we click on this little config setting, you can see that we can choose the roost that we wish to pull in from, and we can also increase and decrease the range that it scans for roosts. So you can go all the way up to 30 blocks, or you can go all the way down to 1 block. And you'll notice it's quite hard to actually tell which roost is which when we actually select them. So if we come over into these roosts, you'll see it has a little name, and we can actually set the name of this one. So I'll just call this one 1 here. And then if we come back into this config, you'll see that this one is now called 1, so we can see exactly which one this is. And now moving on, we have the Roost Feeder, and this is made with 7 blocks of redstone, a diamond block, and an ender pearl. And this guy works kind of similarly to the Roost Collector. It has a config where you can set up and choose which roost you wish to select from. And if we select the one here, and this will allow you to send the seeds into the roost very easily. So I can filter into this one, we can send the tier 1 chicken seeds, and you can also increase and decrease the range, so you can take it all the way up to 30 and all the way down to 1. And if I put the seeds in here now, you'll see it will have sent all of these tier 1 seeds over into this roost called 1. The next block we have is the ultimate chicken storage, and by default, if you're using this mod on its own, it doesn't actually have a crafting recipe, but I have AE2 installed just to kind of show this guy off, and you'll see this guy now has a recipe, and that is with 4 ME controllers and a roost. And this recipe will probably vary depending on the mods you have installed, so if you have refined storage or the simple storage network installed, it may be a bit different. But this guy is basically a very large storage. I'm not 100% sure how big, I couldn't really find that anywhere, but it can hold things like your chickens, the chicken souls, and also the chicken seeds. And it's also harder than obsidian and has a 10 times blast resistance. And you'll see if we come over to this guy, I'm actually right clicking him right now, he's inaccessible. You need something like a storage bus from Applied Energistics to actually use it. So if I enter into this terminal here, you'll see we have a couple things. We have like 5,000 dark steel chickens in here, and we can also add in some more stuff as long as they're seeds, chickens, or souls. You'll see we can't put the breeder in here, we can't put the roosts in here, so it can only really hold these 3 things. And then finally, we have these 3 blocks, the soul breeder, the block chicken roost.slime block, and the chicken scanner, and all of these seem to be unimplemented at the moment. You can place down the soul breeder if you want to, but it doesn't really seem to have much of an inventory, and you can't really tell what to do with it. And also, none of these things currently have a crafting recipe, so they can't be obtained in survival. So yeah, I think that about covers everything for the Roost Ultimate mod. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you did find this useful. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.